Coming up on the Desert Vision, Camp Buehring soldiers net a solution for operational energy, and troops in Afghanistan conduct a material recovery mission as the drawdown effort continues. Hello and welcome. I'm Army Sergeant Woodbridge Dean Bullock, and I am honored to bring you this edition of the Desert Vision. One of the more exciting facets of a deployment lies in the fact that you never know who will stop by. CENTCOM Commander General Lloyd James Austin spoke with 1st Battalion, 44th Air Missile Defense Battalion soldiers at Camp Arifjan during his command visit to the Central Command area of operations. He said these troops are CENTCOM's first line of defense and recognized how vital they are to the mission.
I know you take your job seriously. I take mine seriously, and part of my job is counting on you. And I know you won't let us down.
We've all heard of the green movement, in which everyone does their part to recycle. Did you know there is an entire industry behind energy conservation ready to share innovative technologies? At Camp Buehring, I got a first-hand account of exactly how the Army is taking advantage of those industry connections and involving soldiers to revolutionize its fuel conservation effort. Sometimes the best answer to a difficult problem lies right in front of you. By utilizing what appears to be standard camouflage netting, 1 Infantry Division soldiers at Camp Buehring, Kuwait worked with Saab Barracuda engineer David Annis to set up solar shade solutions for an energy analysis trial period he believes will have a huge impact on fuel consumption.
Studies have shown we typically can reduce the temperatures within the shelter by at least 15 degrees and have about a 22% fuel savings. On a small 150-man fob, it's about 100 gallons a day.
According to U.S. Army Central, in 2013, it consumed 583,000 fuel barrels in Kuwait and Qatar, equating to approximately $60.6 million. The Solar Shade project is only a small glimpse of USARCENT's larger energy awareness campaign designed to reduce costs by increasing soldier involvement through all stages of conservation.
Before you do anything, before you make a plan, before you go out on a convoy or patrol, you think about energy, you think about your usage of batteries and fuel and any other forms of energy that you might need.
With an overall goal to reduce fuel and energy consumption by 20%, soldiers can expect to see more unique energy-saving products being tested in the near future. I'm Army Sergeant Woodbridge Dean Bullock. Destruction and disposal of building materials is a key component to the drawdown of troops in Afghanistan. Private First Class Christina McKenzie recently spent time with the 82nd Sustainment Brigade and 330th Transportation Battalion to see how they are contributing to this mission.
Since the beginning of the war, the U.S. has spent millions of dollars building up the forward operating bases in Afghanistan. As we transition, units like the 82nd Sustainment Brigade are tasked with redistributing and recycling operations.
The 82nd Sustainment Brigade is here to enable our regional commands and other folks in the Afghanistan theater in material recovery and also engineer deconstruction.
The engineers deconstruct buildings and meticulously recover materials to be put back into the Army supply system.
We redistribute material in theater so it doesn't have to be reordered. It's getting put back into the supply system here in theater. For other supplies that we're going to send out of theater, we make sure that we're sending the right supplies that are needed by the national supply system.
Units like the 330th Transportation Battalion take these recovered materials and transport them to locations in which they are needed.
We can capture that equipment as it comes in so that we can move it from location to location, from outlying fobs into major hubs, so that we can fly this thing out and get it back into the Army supply chain.
Any materials that cannot be reused in the supply system are sold to Afghans to recoup some U.S. money, as well as help them improve their economy. Army Private First Class Christina McKenzie, Kandahar Province, Afghanistan.
Poet Henry Wadsworth Longfellow once said, "Music is the universal language of mankind." With that saying in mind, take a look with Army Sergeant Jesse Anderla at 2 local Kuwait bands who took the stage in Camp Arifjan to overcome cultural barriers simply through music.
We're going to play some great psychedelic rock music for you tonight.
Every culture in the world has one thing in common: music. It has the ability to form bonds that can last a lifetime.
If we could prove that we are very open-minded and we love the same things everyone loves, which is music. It's a bond that we can create between us and them. You know, language barrier, forget that. It's the music, it's the lyrics. We all know music, we all love music, we all feel it. And if we feel it, then you feel it.
Zanzibar and the Hashtags are two local bands from Kuwait. Their excitement captivated the audience as they performed some mainstream music with their own psychedelic twist, as well as some originals.
I think we'll show them something new, surely. Something they might have not heard before. Our covers, they have a Zanzibarian feel to it. We've actually put ourselves into the music rather than just play the music as it is, and bring to them something new, enlighten them.
These musicians were thrilled to play for soldiers and put their heart and souls into their performance. This unique opportunity presented a chance to showcase their talents and show American troops how Kuwait can rock the house.
We don't get to go out on the economy and go see the local bands if that's what you're into, you know, but bringing them here, I think it's an opportunity for them to show us who they are.
You guys are going to be the best audience we're going to have in Kuwait. That's not an opportunity we can miss, you know? And secondly, it's always nice to play around different audiences. Each one has a completely different reaction, and it's nice. I mean, it's any chance to play music is a chance to play music.
Both of these bands are hoping to perform again on Camp Arifjan. So if you missed this rare opportunity to see local musicians while overseas, make sure you catch them next time. Reporting for U.S. Army Central, I'm Army Sergeant Jesse Anderlo.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Through USARCENT's Energy Awareness Campaign, the Army is looking into new ways of improving energy and fuel conservation. But don't take my word for it, just ask a Joe.
These shades will reduce solar exposure by 85%, which will decrease temperatures inside the structure by at least 15 degrees.
By utilizing this technology and keeping an eye on fuel consumption,
we can all help reduce fuel use and increase energy efficiency.
Captain Elston.
Oh, it's open, sir.
Whoa. Private, I know it's your comm, David. Are you out of your mind?
I'm just trying to get by the only way I know how, sir. Check this out.
No! This is why you need to conserve energy.
That's right, Captain Elston. By limiting use of electronics in living quarters and at the office, we can meet USARCENT's energy goals to reduce energy consumption by 15 to 30%.
Welcome back to the Desert Vision. What happens when energy-charged entertainers perform for deployed troops? The answer came during a recent variety show designed to not only increase morale, but to strengthen resiliency as well. At Camp Arifjan, Kuwait, soldiers were moving and grooving, clapping and laughing during Armed Forces Entertainment's presentation of the Dan Clark and Friends Variety Tour. Best-selling author of the Chicken Soup for the Soul book series, Dan Clark, hosted the show, providing his trademarked wisdom and encouraging message, a message of unity, which had a positive impact on First Lieutenant Tanya Trowbridge.
Everybody is kind of like a piece of art. You all bring different aspects to the team, and even though we're one team, you have different beliefs than I do, and together we make it stronger.
American Idol Season 7 finalist David Archuleta unleashed his powerful vocal talent, while celebrity impressionist Jason Hewlett added a heaping helping of hilarity to a well-rounded performance Clark says is their modest way of giving back.
If it's good enough for you, it's good enough for us. You know, we don't feel like we're in harm's way. We came over here to support you and honor you, and basically just say thank you so much on behalf of every civilian who'd give anything to be here in our shoes to say the same thing.
As the 2-hour show came to a close, the entertainers gathered for pictures and signed autographs. For U.S. Army Central, I'm Army Sergeant Woodbridge Dean Bullock.
It's hard to pass up the opportunity of a lifetime. In this case, a football game provided that opportunity for one military officer who got the chance to make it count by inspiring extraordinary young athletes towards victory.
It was by no means the Super Bowl, but for Team USA and Team Canada, it was close. This event would give them a taste of what may be the future for American football.
To wear USA in your chest is really special. And it's something we don't get to do in football. Every other sport has the Olympics. And if you're at the top of your game in other sports, you can do that. But football is the one sport they don't have in the Olympics. And part of this as well, coming overseas, and the reason we're outside of the U.S. tonight, is it's an opportunity to hopefully get in the Olympics in the future.
Team USA also took some time while in the Middle East to visit U.S. troops stationed in Kuwait. A special invitation to the game showed how grateful the team was for the opportunity to perform in front of those that protect their freedom.
Just being on the base the other day was incredible for us, being around people that are, putting their life on the line, and they're in the front lines that give us what we have back home, protect everything we have overseas. But to have the guys here supporting us, we're really excited about having them here.
The coaches gave their speech that motivated the players before they burst out onto the field. After weeks of practice and sacrifice to get here, the final game for the International Federation of American Football Under-19 Championship was about to begin. This is for the gold. The Americans came out early with back-to-back scores to begin the first half, 12-0. Canada came back quickly, scoring their own duo of touchdowns to take the lead at halftime, making the score 14-12.
It's an honor, man, to go into the locker room. Those guys were, right on the edge. It was a close half. They were working through what they had to do for the second half, and it was just fantastic to be able to address them. You could look them in the eyes, and you could see that they were ready to go for the second half.
At the beginning of the second half, it was apparent that Team USA was down, but not out. The halftime pep talk by Colonel Hanover must have given them the extra boost they needed, as their offense scored 28 unanswered points, and the defense held the opposing team to one field goal throughout the second half. After the game, the coach and players gave Colonel Hanover his own memento from the game for his contributions and support of the team.
Coach pulled me over and he presented me with the game ball. Again, just another honor. It's another experience that I wouldn't trade for the world. I'm glad I got a chance to share with my teammates back on base and with my new teammates behind me.
Every team worked hard to get here, and although the 40-17 final score didn't show it, the game was hard fought and both teams could walk away with pride. Reporting for U.S. Army Central, I'm Army Sergeant Jesse Anderle.
USA! 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 Many military couples have their own strategy when it comes to facing a deployment, but for Sergeants Landre and Jonalyn Capron, it was rather simple: stick together. Army Staff Sergeant Rich Stowell caught up with the two lovebirds during a special re-enlistment ceremony at Kandahar Airfield.
Deployments usually mean separation from family.
I think it makes it a little bit easier because you don't have to worry about, well, what's my spouse going through, what's going on back home, because you're here with them. So whatever it is that they are going through, at the end of the day, you can sit there and talk about it and then, be refreshed knowing that they're okay, that they're safe, you don't have anything to worry about.
But for this Army couple, a tour in Afghanistan not only brought them closer together, but it has given them the opportunity to extend their service to the Army.
Against all enemies.
Sergeants Landre and Jonalyn Capron re-enlisted here last week. They both serve with Task Force Raptor in Regional Command South. Their unit, the 16th Combat Aviation Brigade from Joint Base Lewis McChord, has been in Afghanistan since March. As scripted as Army life sometimes seems, for the Caprons, this step wasn't always in the cards.
It wasn't really planned, but some things you just have to make changes, pick up and go with it.
Run with it.
Yeah.
Close friends and colleagues gathered on a rooftop overlooking the flight line, while their brigade commander, Colonel Mealy, administered the oath of enlistment.
It feels amazing, to just, I kind of feel like family with 16 Cab anyway, because we've been here since it started. When we came in as a PFC and now we're an NCO, and it's just a good vibe to have that kind of family bond with everybody else supporting you and rooting for you to be successful, and very welcoming to support you to move on to the next level, so it's good to be part of the team.
From Kandahar Airfield, Afghanistan, I'm Army Staff Sergeant Rich Stowell.
That wraps up this installment of the Desert Vision. Find these stories and more at facebook.com/US Army Central. I'm Army Sergeant Woodbridge Dean Bullock. Thank you for watching.